The Geely Okavango. Some call it a crossover, while others insist it's an MPV. You can call it what you want, but there's no denying the fact that there's a huge demand for well-equipped 7-seaters in this country. But wait, I've already reviewed the Okavango. Well, that was the urban variant, and ever since Geely re-entered the Philippine market with the Coolray, shortly followed by the Escara, it seems that the motoring public has come to expect no less than premium features across their model range. Hence, we have this, their new top-of-the-line variant, the Geely Okavango Urban Plus. The word plus signifies that you should be getting more. And with this costing 1,478,000 pesos, that's 150,000 pesos more than the already well-equipped urban variant. But what exactly are you getting in addition? And more importantly, are the changes significant enough to justify the price difference? Well, at first glance, the exterior is pretty much the same. It would take a really keen eye to spot the difference, because the exterior is almost identical. You can expect the same boxy design with Geely's signature expanding Cosmos grille, conservative body lines with minimal use of black body cladding, and as expected, you will still get front fog lamps, roof rails, repeaters on the power folding side mirrors, and LED tail lamps. Even these headlights may look similar. After all Okavangos come with LED headlights. But these headlights on the Urban Plus are ADB matrix LEDs, which means they have self-adjusting high and low beams and an automatic leveler. This is also adaptive, which means it can illuminate your path based on the direction you're heading. Now that's pretty neat. So like I said earlier, there really isn't much on the outside that'll make this stand out as the top-of-the-line model. Even the wheels are the same. You still get 18-inch alloys, which even has the same design as what you'd get on the Urban variant. At the back, it's a similar story. You don't even get a badge to tell the variants apart. But regardless of which variant you get, you can always expect heaps of space. Because even with the third row seats up, there's already 257 liters of usable space. Folding the third row gives you 1,200 liters of space. And if that isn't enough, you can also fold the second row seats to give you 2,050 liters of cargo space. You can practically use this as a cargo van. Stepping inside, you're greeted with a familiar interior, which is definitely not a bad thing. The biggest difference here, 60 inches to be exact, is this panoramic sunroof, which has a rainfall sensor and 3 layers of shading material. Now this may not be a necessity, but it is a good to have, and it does wonders for the interior in terms of giving it an airy and premium feel. This interior may not be as extravagant as what you'd find in the Escara. The leather isn't nearly as plush, and the materials used on the door cards and dashboard lean more towards the durable side, but it's still extremely well equipped, and you get standard features such as power adjustable seats for the driver and front passenger, a tri-zone automatic climate control system, a shift-by-wire gear selector which allows for additional storage space, an electronic park brake with auto hold and push button start. And since this is a Geely, you should expect no less when it comes to the infotainment screen. Here you get a 10.25-inch touchscreen with QD Link. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but at least you can still hook your phone up. The system responds fairly quickly and it's very clear. And the best part is you get a 360 camera, which gives you a really good view of your surroundings. Next, we move on to the fully digital instrument cluster. Now, the other variants of the Okavango also get a digital instrument cluster, but the one on the Urban Plus offers more configurability and now also displays multimedia information such as the radio station you're tuned into and your song info. So aside from the sunglass holder, that pretty much sums it up in terms of what the differences are between this and the mid-level Urban variant. Everything else is pretty much the same, so you can expect the same level of space and configurability. Because only the Okavango offers individual seats for second-row passengers. And you may lose out on a center armrest, but try finding another vehicle that offers 19 ways to configure the rear seats. And with such a spacious interior, you can expect decent levels of comfort regardless of where you sit. But the question is, how comfortable is this when it's in motion? Well, I've already done a full review of this, but I guess there's no harm in taking it out for another drive. All Okavangos, regardless of what variant, share the same engine, transmission, and suspension. So dynamically, there really shouldn't be a difference when it comes to driving. But I will admit that the panoramic sunroof adds to the experience. The Okavango is based on a monocoque platform, so you sit a little lower. However, together with the fully independent suspension, the ride is extremely compliant, yet it feels planted around the corner. So compared to a body-on-frame SUV, this will definitely provide a smoother ride. No question about it. But compared to a crossover, this doesn't feel like a car to drive as much as they do. And I'd attribute that to the steering feel. Now the steering is extremely light, so it's car-like in that sense. But the ratio is on the slow side. So it does require a fair amount of steering input before you feel the car start to turn. Now as you already know, this comes with a 1.5-liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that's paired with a 48-volt motor. And together, it produces 190 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque. The best part about that is that peak torque comes in very early on in the rev range, around 1500 RPM. So power is immediate. However, the power will start to taper off as you get closer to the red line. So this is tuned more for comfort versus a sporty drive. So overall, the Okavango's greatest driving trait is really the comfort it provides. I'm stuck in traffic and I really don't mind because these seats are so comfortable, it's an extremely spacious cabin, and aside from the compliant ride, the NVH here is fantastic. Noise suppression is absolutely superb. You don't hear the noise outside, nor do you hear the engine or the tires even at speed. So this is a great and comfortable cruiser, which is exactly how you want any 7-seater to be. So for an extra 150,000 pesos, what you're basically getting is a panoramic sunroof, adaptive headlights, and a fancier instrument cluster. And I'll let you decide if you think that's a bargain or a ripoff. But with all things considered, what we have here is a 7-seater that provides heaps of functionality, comfort, and features. And for under 1.5 million pesos, that really isn't a bad deal.